Molweni, my name is Uanga Mbeia and I am from South Africa. I stay in the coastline of Gqeberha, and my love for seaweed started when I had the opportunity to study about it in Sweden, Gothenburg University.
I live between Paris and Brittany in France. Brittany is the west coast of France and probably the most complete seaweed ecosystem in the country.
Seaweed is actually part of our daily life in China. My favorite seaweed is kelp. I am a seaweed ambassador for an organization called Safe Seaweed Coalition.
The coalition is a partnership that supports the safe and sustainable scaling up of the global seaweed industry.
I do believe in the absolute need of a program of advocacy based on dialogue and communication towards these various stakeholders and communities.
I'm a graduate student at the University of Victoria in the Spectral Lab, where we map and monitor bull kelp using remote sensing.
What piqued my interest the most was the fact that seaweed grows very fast, and through photosynthesis, it absorbs carbon dioxide at a phenomenal rate. Now, this process, also known as carbon sequestration, could be our answer to global warming and to mitigating the effects of climate change.
And again, we want to move this industry forward.
I really think seaweed has the potential to not just help our ecosystems and biodiversities in the ocean, but also to help the communities along these coastlines. I'm really hoping that seaweed can provide quality, sustainable jobs.
I've discovered a special formula to transform seaweed into a pliable material to create fashion and home decor products.
I like to draw parallels between land-based agricultural systems that I'm familiar with and the seaweed industry that's developing and growing.
So I think it's really important that we have a lot of people talking and thinking about kelp, how to monitor it, how to restore it, and just really recognizing the importance of our kelp forest.
Well, I kind of came up with the saying, whatever the question is, seaweed is the answer, and that's not exaggerating. From food to biofuels to bioplastic to biofiber.
And I eat it, I dry it, and I put it in all my dishes.
I love to tell others about seaweed because it holds so much promise to support our global food systems and sustainability more broadly.
My advice to anyone wanting to know about seaweed is get involved, be a part of it, be a part of this amazing industry.
Because of all this and more, I'm driven to spread the word about the multifaceted treasure trove that seaweed is.
It's a powerhouse that can contribute significantly to many of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
I hope you will learn more of seaweed during Seaweed Days.
And I hope you'll join me in the seaweed revolution.
Hi, I'm Sharie Minions, Mayor for the City of Port Alberni, and I'm so proud to be taking part in Seaweed Days. Today I'm going to read Seal Song, which is a book by Andrea Spalding and Pascal Milelli. Hope you enjoy it. Work done, the boy hid on the cannery wharf. Finn, Finn, his father called. Finn crouched behind a barrel. He had fished with his father since early morning. Now he wanted to swim with the seals. Drat, that boy! His father tossed the last salmon in a box and carried it inside the canning shed. Swimming down from the wharf, Finn crossed over the rocks to a secret cove where the seals gathered. Cold green water, heaving, swelling, velvet bodies diving, swimming, a silky seal watching and waiting. Finn waved at the seal. He tugged off his boots and his shirt and plunged in. Sing to me, said Finn. Sing the seal song that brings good fortune. The seal blew a fishy breath and disappeared below the waves. Every afternoon, Finn slipped away to the cove. He swam and wished, but the seal song never sang. One day the waters churned, frantic splashing, seals dashing, churning, thrashing. Finn climbed a rock and scanned the depths. His seal was caught in old netting. He dove deep, heart pounding, plunging, lunging, knife flashing, frenzied slashing, tangles binding. The seal's eyes dimmed. Finn rose to the surface, gasped, and dove again. Hands ripping, stands parting, finally freeing. The seal was too weak to swim. Finn pushed her onto the beach and collapsed behind her. The sun warmed them. His strength soon returned, but the young seal could barely raise his head. Rest, he said, and stroked his pelt. I'll bring food. Finn sneaked a salmon from the wharf. A large hand clamped his arm. Hold it, son, he tried to explain. You're stealing fish to feed a seal? Fish sold to the cannery? Roared his father. I forbid it. Finn dropped the fish, but he knew the seal must eat. At dawn, Finn rose and rowed his skiff out to the bay. He caught several fish, fed the seal, and returned before his father stirred. The seal grew stronger. By evening, the beach was empty. She bobbed in the water, waiting for her friend. Together, they swam through the kelp, riding wave crests, exploring hidden depths, laughing, splashing, celebrating. You're my best friend, said Finn. I wish you lived on land. That night, the seals sang. No good comes from seal song, said father, angrily slamming the cabin door against the sound. Good fortune comes, argued Finn. His father tightened his lips. The next afternoon, a strange child walked along the boardwalk. Who are you? Asked Finn. Sheila. Her name sang like the surf. Seal magic, whispered the fisherman. She's one of the seal folk. Finn's father snorted. Watch, said one of the oldest fishermen. That child will never let salt water touch her skin. If it does, she must return to the sea. Sheila and Finn played hide and seek until sunset, unaware of being watched. The following day, Finn helped his father fish. Sheila met their return boating. She smiled as they hoisted a net full of gleaming salmon from the hold to the dock. The other fishermen stared enviously. After unloading, Finn took Sheila's hand and they ran laughing to the secret cove. He cannonballed into the waves, but Sheila shrank back. What's the matter? He yelled. Can't you swim? I'm forbidden. Finn chuckled and splashed water toward her. She leapt away. Her eyes pooling with tears, unease hung between them. The salmon ran well, and the fishermen caught plenty. Though Finn and his father were always the luckiest, the whisperers said it was unnatural. Sheila helped Finn mend nets and gather firewood, but she never dug clams in the wet sand or ran through the sea spray. When dusk approached, she disappeared into the shadows. Mark my words, that seal child will bring ill fortune, said the oldest fisherman. Finn's father nodded. Summer faded. The cannery closed. The fishermen now worked for themselves, so Finn was unable to spend his time with Sheila. We'll go mushrooming tomorrow, he said daily. One crisp afternoon, he kept his word. They walked toward the forest, but seabirds screamed from the bay. Finn looked back. Fish were jumping. Another good catch, he yelled, and we ran to the shore. Sheila followed. Don't go, Finn. A storm's coming, I feel it. He stared at the clear sky and shook his head. You're just scared of the sea, Finn teased, and he leapt up into the skiff. She watched him row out to where the water boiled with fish and birds. Finn shipped his oars. He braced his legs and plunged his landing net into the waves. Scoops of shimmering fish filled the boat. An icy gust tossed Sheila's hair. She shivered as black clouds scudded overhead. Finn, the storm's here, she shouted. Row back. Finn heard nothing. With this catch, he thought proudly, I have landed more fish than father. Wind hammered. The boat heeled. Finn staggered. The storm threw down a curtain of rain. Finn, screamed Sheila as she lost sight of him. Finn's boat floundered into heaving swells. The wind howled, freezing in his hands. The rain became blinding sleet. Which way? He cried. On the beach, Sheila sang, "E-I, E-I," a magic song, a seal song. The piercing notes reached Finn. He rowed toward her voice, but the wind shifted. Boat rocking, fingers slipping, current snatching, oars falling, floating away. He huddled among his catch with the storm while the storm swept his skiff into a roaring darkness. Sheila pounded on the doors, calling for help. "Launch a rescue," shouted the fishermen. Towering waves smashed their boats against the pilings. Sheila ran to the water's edge. "E-I, E-I." Seals joined her singing, strange sounds ringing, green waves cresting, Sheila diving, her shape changing, a young seal swimming. The storm raged all night, leaving wreckage along the dawn-lit coastline. In the secret cove, Finn laid asleep in the shore. Protecting him, like a velvet blanket, was the seal. A fall frost sparkled across her back. Finn stirred. "Sheila, Sheila." "E-I." The seal nudged farewell with her nose and slipped into the sea. Winter was endless. Finn helped his father build a new boat. In spring they fished together. Neither spoke of Sheila. But on every voyage they tossed a salmon to the sea who swam beside them. Glass green water heaving, swelling, a silky seal watching, waiting. The end. Hope you enjoyed Seal Song. Thanks for listening.